making now that we have to have garbage cans only this one size, and I can't do what I'm always doing. So, this is
Well-
fair warning that,
Two things. Is there some time frame that we're up against
well, that's true.
for this contract? And then second, it's not a public hearing no matter what.
Okay.
It's a resolution, so it's our responsibility.
Okay.
But is there some deadline that we're up
The
against?
deadline is to, by May 14th, I have to, or May 10th, I have to tell the vendors that we're not extending existing contract. That's
Okay.
one.
All right,
The
so you
June-
need a decision
June
tonight.
30th is our deadline of the existing contract. So if we don't extend and the contract expires on June 30th, now, do we start the program right away in July 1st? The vendor said that they could extend if they don't get the barrels fast enough to put the cereal and distribute to the residents, they could extend and carry for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the existing contract, and then by the end of July or mid-July, we would have barrels everywhere. So between now and June 30th, that's what we have to do. All the information to the residents through the web, through the cable, through the newspapers, through every possible meeting that yes, is a change in our waste collection system. This is the way we are saving money.
2 months.
And that's what we'll have. So we have basically 2 months right now to promote this and inform the residents. But if we don't make a decision, then we don't have a contract. And I
quick-
don't,
This is going to take a learning curve for the residents. So you're going to have people in the beginning that are going to be overflowed because they're not in the recycle mode. Are we going to, and they're going to take their garbage to the dump because they're going to have extra garbage. So,
we cannot accept
Accept
the
that?
garbage in a dump. We have
Okay.
only certain items in a dump, in a drop-off
Okay.
center. So that's not a dump, that's another transfer station.
okay, because I'm just saying that, people are going to have a culture.
See, drop-off center was established to help the residents with some bulk items that we would collect over there, put in the containers, and dispose that right away. That's why it's not a landfill, it's not a transfer station, that if they would go to the transfer station when we had here before on exit 5, it would cost them $80 to dispose, one board, and they will go between the big trucks. They could go to ours on Saturday, and that's how we established it.
Okay, so if people with extra trash, what happens if they can't meet this right at the beginning and they just keep getting this buildup of garbage? Will they have to come down here and get will a sticker program be ready and you have to come down?
We will have to develop the sticker program very quickly, but again, I still have a difficult time to think that would be that much garbage. Garbage itself in another, because if you can take all the paper and cardboard and put in recyclables, then you know how much, that's a one can or one bag every day of garbage.
I mean, I'm not worried about me because I don't have that size family anymore. But I drive down the streets and there's some people, I mean, there is a lot of garbage in front of some houses and
Because they don't recycle. That is, it's probably in that bag, it's all mixed together.
There is, Kathy, you're right, there's a learning curve whenever you introduce something new, absolutely. All we can tell you is the towns that have done this over the last 20 years, I think you said, Paul, this has been around that long, they all say, yes, in the early going, there's some bumps and falls, there's some outcry, there's always some scrapes in the early going, but generally after a couple of months, it dies down. We plan a full frontal publicity campaign here, and I can tell you, using Goffstown as an example, they have yet to issue a second container to anybody. And their rule is, if you have a problem, call us, we'll come out, and as Janusz said, check your garbage. And indeed, if it's full of real garbage and you're recycling all you can, we'll get you another container. And they've said they've never had to give another container to anybody in the several years they've been doing this.
Brian?
Yeah, I just
Welcome.
apologize for being late. Work tells me when I can leave nowadays. If somebody could just give me like a real quick recap based on a couple of questions. The conventional is what we're doing now.
Yes.
The automated, which is your recommendation, is that container
For garbage.
at every house for garbage. We continue with what we're doing for recycling.
Yes.
All right, and then I heard you mention too, a sticker program where if,
On occasion.
on occasion, if you needed an extra bag, you use your own bag and put a sticker on it, and the sticker is a per price item. Prepaid, you buy them here, you use them when you need them for the excess trash. Is the sticker good for a year or however long until if you bought 5, it's good until you use them?
If its contract is for 5 years, it could be good for 5 years
Okay.
until this contract, or 7 years.
Okay.
But I was looking here that how much can fit in this container. Every day, you could have that much garbage, 7 of them easily will fit here.
Oh, yeah, that's
7 of these will
That's
fit.
way bigger than the trash can I use at my house now, and I barely fill the trash can I have at my house now because I recycle. That's much bigger than what I have. So,
He's worried about the sticker program eating into our savings. That's why he's a little bit.
okay, so you've got the difference between the existing method that we have now and going to this is
If you
$358,000
put the last slide, not the last one before.
over
Yes,
5
this
years.
one,
Okay,
yes,
that's,
this one,
It's
yes.
5 years.
that's a
but the
5-year
But
savings.
the first year, there's a big upside, which you may want them to explain to you.
And the big upside is the first year for.
The first year, this on this slide, I don't know if you have it on your computer over there, or you have to look
I
at the
got the
screen.
hard copy.
Okay,
You
if
guys
you
have
look
the
at that
hard
one, if you will leave in town, just like we have, conventional, existing, and solid, for solid waste, and for recycling, dual stream, $8.3 million. That's what will cost us for 5 years.
Okay, so what I want to get to is, Mike mentioned it, is there's a first-year cost.
First year savings.
First-year savings,
The next slide here, if you go, Donna, the next slide, in our fiscal year 2010, we have almost $2 million dedicated for solid waste, 364 for recyclables, and $1.5 million for solid waste. If we would use the numbers that we have right now in this recommended proposal, it would cost us $1.6 million for first year. So,
Okay.
as you could see, it's $286,000.
so that's our first year.
First year saving.
All right, then what I wanted to get to is that then this 357, 358, that's the 5-year savings. Is that additional on top of the first year, or
That's
does it
total- that's
include the
total
first
saving.
year?
That's total saving, because we were looking at these numbers.
Okay.
We had to take some assumptions.
That's 5 years, first year is that.
Yeah.
And then it's whatever's left.
So,
divided
yeah,
by 5 is
At 5 years.
Okay.
What we
All
were
right.
looking,
I'm good. I just wanted to like run through the math real quick,
That's
see
the
where
way
you're
I
at
read
with
it.
your recommendation.
this is not, because the savings that you see, $350,000, is from the number of the new contract, new proposal.
Right.
This saving here is from the existing that we have right now. So you
Existing
compare.
contract moving into a new one, and then we'll have
Exactly.
we'll have
And
an
then
annual.
the other one's 350 is from completely different stuff,
Yeah.
because it's a,
Yeah.
First year savings, 2 components. One, benefit of a better contract. Second, we've budgeted more tonnage than we actually dispose of because the
Right.
economy's down.
Right.
That's why we're getting a lot of first year
Yeah.
savings.
yeah.
Then after that, it's some amortized amount over the rest of the 5 years.
Because the one that we are saving, the contract will be $700,000 for pickup, not 614.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Any further questions from the council? So, if we move forward with this, I think everyone's in agreement that some folks are resistant to change, some folks just aren't aware of change, and it kind of just drops in their lap. We have this 2-month window of education/communication. What have you guys come up with in terms of what we should do between now and June 30th if we agree to this.
In terms of publicity?
Yeah, educating our residents.
Quite a few things, and we'll be meeting again next week to discuss that further. I think we touched on it in our last meeting that you attended for your first visit. So, and the vendor